Yes, this is streaming live now.
Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to Saudha's Facebook live talk and concert series. Many thanks who are waiting for this beautiful session of world music, especially contemporary world music and dance form. As you know, this series has been designed at the time of Corona with an aim to be in association with your loneliness and self-isolation. And it is such a great pleasure that you are loving it, and especially the music from all different cultures, art from all different cultures all around the globe, an artist who has such a great journey, philosophical journey in the art form that they promote. You're loving it, and you are leaving so many inspiring feedback. And it is also a pleasure that artists from all around the globe are so keen to be the part of this series and to promote the world-class art form that they promote with passion, with dexterity, and with a philosophical vision. So thanks again, those who have already joined. As you know, this session will feature the beauty of contemporary world music and, of course, a beautiful dance form, Odissi. Let me introduce first all of our panel members today. First of all, Jasmine Chaudhary, a political activist, an art and literature connoisseur, and part and parcel of this whole process, of this whole series. Many, many thanks, Jasmine, for joining again this evening.
Thank you very much, Kaisar Bhai. A very warm welcome to everybody on the panel. Really looking forward to this exceptional session.
Thank you, thank you. I also would like to introduce another regular panel member and a spoken word artist, a concert organizer, Shaheen Mitul. Many thanks, Mitul, for joining today.
Thank you very much and welcome everyone to the show.
And then we have Sanjoy Dev, one of the finest Tagore singers here, a founder of three phenomenal organizations based in London, Niyom, Rabi Bharati, and Rabika, and a wonderful friend of us, Sanjoy Dev. Many thanks, Sanjoy Dev, for joining today again. Can you hear us? Sorry, we can't hear you for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Renekato Yokoso.
ありがとう。ありがとうございます。Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting.
I also would like to introduce one of the finest Indian semi-classical vocalists here in UK, founder of another wonderful organization based in the north, Srimati Shumona Mullik Boshu. Many thanks, Shumona, for joining as part of this series today again.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and looking forward to another lovely musical session as always. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Many, many thanks. Did we manage to, is the session live? Is the live streaming going from Saudha, Mitul?
Yes, it is available on Showda's
Okay.
profile.
So
I haven't
please,
shared it yet. I will
okay,
definitely share
please
it
do,
now.
please do. Please, in the meantime, if you kindly share and expand, and those who are watching as well, please share and let others be the part of this great session. I would like to introduce a wonderful organization first, which is Madhurya Art House, and two senior Odissi dancers who actually started this journey have joined as part of this series. We are very much delighted to have this, first of all, this group, Madhurya Art House. Let me just give a bit of information, bit of introduction on Madhurya Art House. Madhurya Art House is an attempt by two senior Odissi dancers. Unfortunately, we have both of them today, Nilambari Prasad and Kripa Laya, to carry forward this rich tradition in UK. They are driven by their joint ambition to expose the next generation to Indian classical arts in the UK for its perpetuation and enrichment. Both artists are key members of the working group of Odissi dancers putting together a UK-wide Odissi syllabus that will eventually seek Imperial Society of Teachers of Dancing's accreditation. Let me introduce one of them, the artistic director of Madhurya Art House, Kripa Iyer. Many thanks, Namaskar, for joining as part
Thank
of
you
this.
very much for inviting me.
Just a brief introduction. Kripa has performed extensively in India, USA, and the UK over the last 20 years. Some of her notable performances include the felicitation concert of Guru Kelucharan Mahapatraji by his students, held in Delhi 2001. Idea Festival 2004 in Washington, DC, and Academy's Daridevas concert in 2005 at South Bank Center in London. Kripa has had her and many other great concerts actually all around UK. Kripa has had opportunity to train directly under the legendary Padma Vibhushan Guru Kalucharan Mahapatraji at his Mumbai workshops, and has attended workshops by world-renowned Odissi dancers and Guru Padmasri Madhavi Mudgalji in the UK. She continues to seek guidance from her Guru Devi Basuji through regular online dance lessons. Many thanks for joining as part of this concert series again. And many thanks, Nilambari Prasad, and welcome to this token concert series today. Nilambari Prasad is a creative director of Madhurya Art House. Nilambari is an Odissi dancer based in central London and has performed extensively in India and abroad. Originally from Mumbai, India, she started training under Guru Devi Basuji in her early teens. She has had the opportunity to train directly under the legendary Padma Vibhushan Guru Kalucharan Mahapatraji. She strongly believes in the power of Indian classical dance to break through barriers, transform people, and stay fit and grounded. What a beautiful word. Many thanks for joining. We'll explore
Thank
step
you
by
for
step
having us.
about your journey and philosophy of music. And this is also a pleasure, huge pleasure, to have another wonderful interpreter of world, especially Japanese music, but she excels her performance through many different, amalgamating with many different art forms. Rina Kato Many thanks, Rina, and welcome to this session. You're based in German now, aren't you?
Yes,
The German country.
I am in Germany now. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Great. So as you know, Rina especially composes music, performs and composes music, which interests me, which attracts me actually. She's a singer, songwriter in Japanese, English, and German. What a great spectrum, Rina. So we'll listen today, all different languages you write and you perform. She was based in actually Chichester, I think near to seaside, near to Brighton, isn't it, Mithul? Chichester is based in.
Not too far from Brighton.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So Rina performed at Summer Theatre, Chichester, England, and then performed at Main Matsuri in Frankfurt, Germany, performance Dutch, Japanese in Frankfurt, Germany, performed at Anna Sky Lounge in Frankfurt, Germany, performance in many different festivals, many different prestigious events. She performed and she performed her own songs as well, and which is based in German, English, and Japanese. She also learned Shakespearean music of Shakespearean era, which is something that I would like to explore a bit. But let us start with a bit of music first. Rina, we will explore your musical journey step by step. But is it possible to play something? How are you, first of all?
I'm good, thank you very much.
Are you
yeah,
on
can you hear me?
self-isolation? Yeah, we can. Are you on self-isolation?
Yes, I am.
Oh, great.
Totally.
Hopefully, this time, this bedtime will be over, and then we will see each other in live events. So let us start with the music first. Can I ask everyone whether they found the link okay? Kripa, did you find the link okay?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Live link? Nilambari?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Rina, did you find the link okay to share?
And I shared it, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Let us start with music.
Yeah, so I'm going to sing some cover songs and my original songs, but the first one, I'm going to do the English cover song.
Great.
Yeah. So I think everybody knows it's Can't Help Falling in Love with You.
Mm-hmm.
It's by Elvis Presley. And I play piano and sing.
Good.
Yeah. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be happy if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a little frost, surely to the sea. That is so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too. Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
What a wonderful start. What a great start. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone would like to add anything?
Suteki na, arigato gozaimashita.
Arigatou gozaimashita. You speak very good Japanese.
I'm
Look
trying
at
to.
this.
I have got my teacher who was very famous, Tomako Kambe. I don't know whether you have heard her name or not. She was a famous singer in Japan, Tomako Kambe. I
Okay.
used to learn Chego's, songs, like
Mhm.
which has been translated in Japanese language. She has
Wow.
translated this in Japanese language, and I have learned it from her, from Tomako Kambe.
Oh, that's
So
great.
yes, yes, and I love Japanese language a lot. So I just try to.
Oh. Thank you very
Right.
much.
Oh,
It's
so
a great honor.
you're
I really don't know about others, but I have fallen in love with you, Rena.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so happy to hear
Fantastic.
that. Thank you.
Fantastic. Anyone, Jasmine?
It's a beautiful start. One of my favorite songs, and you just sang so beautifully. Thank you so much. That was a great start.
Exactly.
Thank you for
Exactly.
your kind comments.
Let us go to Kripa now. Hello, Kripa. How are you?
Yes.
Are you all
Yes.
right? Are you all
Yes, I'm
right?
very well, thank you.
First of all, how are you managing your time at the time of this corona?
To be honest, it's quite busy. Having two children at home, do remote schooling. I'm, busy providing IT support through the day most of the time. It's quite full on actually. So yeah.
Yeah. So is it possible to let our audiences know a bit more on the story behind the organization that you started, Madhuri Art House? So is it, did you, you said that it is almost a quite new organization, but you started to promote Odissi here in UK. When was it started? When did it start?
Neelambari and me, we are Guru Behens, or rather we learned, we've known each other a long time. We've trained under the same Guru Devi Vasuji. And we've been dancing together, teaching for many, many years. But to sort of, I'll hand over to Neelambari, who will tell you a little bit more about, how we conceptualize this and the idea behind setting up an organization. Neelambari, you want to add in?
Sure. Thank you. So, we, like Kripa said, we have been dancing in groups together and solo for a long time and performing. So in 2018, when I moved to the UK for good, before that I used to travel back and forth from Mumbai on work. But when I moved here, we decided that it's time that we do something more concrete together. And that's when Madhurya took birth. This was 2 years ago. And it was with very simple goals in mind. And, 3 goals. One, to expose young children to Indian classical arts in general, through the medium we know best, which is dance, and specifically Odissi. And we will speak about a specific initiative with young children that we've undertaken, and fortunately gotten a lot of appreciation and some funding for it. And the other goal, so like I said, there are 3 goals. This is the first one. The other one is collaboration, and ensuring that being in UK, which is extremely vibrant, very cosmopolitan, that we do our bit in exposing non-Indian audiences and taking this art form to others who have not been, exposed to it, and specifically with dancers such as ballet dancers, flamingo dancers, scholars, anthropologists, musicians, like Rena here, and have have opportunities to collaborate and just create an audience that is more informed about how to appreciate an Indian classical dance performance, let's say. And then the third objective that we had in mind was using our initiative as a platform for conversations. So be it panel discussions, be it just hosting an artist behind the scenes to come and share what they do to contribute to this, and lesser known people who are behind the scenes, and providing a platform in general. So those were the three goals. And we have, fortunately, in the last 2 years, made progress in each of them, which we will share as we go along with this conversation. But that was the reason for this initiative, and that's how we came together. We were friends first, and then
You learned under one guru as well. You learned under
Yes, yes,
one.
yeah.
Yeah,
and we
great.
still continue to. Yeah.
Fantastic. That's a great thing. Is it possible for Kripa or Nilambari, is it possible to tell us briefly, we'll go a bit further about it afterwards, but briefly about the art form that you promote, Odissi? Just a brief background for the audiences who are not perhaps familiar with this beautiful art form, beautiful dance form.
Sure. So Odissi is a temple dance from the eastern part of India, and its origins go back hundreds of years. I think there's evidence, of course, the text, some of the basic grammar that we follow. I mean, it's one of sort of several other art forms, temple dances in India. And the basic grammar, we still refer to a textbook that was written around 2nd century AD, CE, around roundabouts. The specific date is debated, but yeah, but you can actually, there is actually proof, evidence of there having been some sort of a art form like the ones, art forms like the ones we see, the modern classical dances in India that we see today. I think something that a text I find quite interesting, of course, there's this textbook, the Natya Shastra, written by Bharata Muni, that we still refer to for some of the
Is it possible to come a bit closer to the device?
Are you not able to hear me? Sorry.
Sound is better when you come.
So yeah, now I was talking about textual evidence about the existence of dance forms in ancient India, and the Natya Shastra, of course, is the first that comes to mind. It's a textbook written about dance and drama, and it lays out rules on everything from how you set up a stage, what sort of music should be played, how the audience should be placed. So there's of course the formal textbooks. There's also Abhinay Darpan. There are formal treaties on performing arts. But also what I find very interesting is this piece of popular fiction. Again, dates to around 2nd century CE, called Shilapadikaram. It's a Tamil text. It's a love story. It's a tragic love story about this young couple, Kovalan and Kannagi, who are happily married, and they live in the southern Indian city of Madurai. And everything is fine, and they're happy until Kovalan meets Madhavi, a beautiful young dancer, and he falls in love with her immediately. And he leaves his wife, he moves in with Madhavi, and until they have a disagreement. And then he goes back to his wife and pleads, he asks her forgiveness, and they make up, and they decide to start a new life again. So he sells his wife's anklet so that they can start a new business and start a new life. And he gets wrongly accused of having stolen the queen's anklet, and without a fair trial is executed. Kannagi gets furious, and in a rage she curses the king and the kingdom, and the whole the myth is that the whole city of Madurai burns, the king dies, Kannagi kills herself, and Madhavi renounces everything and becomes a Buddhist nun. Anyway, So bad ending for everybody involved. But the interesting part here is the detailed description about Madhavi's solo debut performance. And the author, this Jane Monk, he's gone into so much detail about the stage, how it was built, the material used, the musicians, the instruments that were played, the songs. So there's an amazing amount of detail. And in fact, when you read that, you can kind of sort of see the link. It may not be exactly what we do today, but most certainly, that was definitely sort of a predecessor to, the modern form of Indian classical dances. And then, of course, there are the temples, the big stone temples in India. If you've been, they're absolutely beautiful. They're adorned with these sculptures showing dancers in various postures. And in fact, Odissi was, there was a period when it was dying out. It was danced in the temple of Jagannath at Puri. The Maharis used to the temple dancers used to dance it inside, but it was not the way, the status that it enjoys today on stage. I mean, it wasn't really like that. So there wasn't really a following as such. Also, any art needs patronage. So with the British rule in India, collapse of these princely states supporting the artists, everything came to a stop. And it was only in the 1950s that, using these available evidence, the great gurus put together and sort of revived the dance form, and we see created modern Odissi as we see it today. So that is the story in short.
That's a beautiful background. Hope it helps people, especially like myself, who doesn't know that background of this heritage. Is it possible to demonstrate something from Odissi?
Yeah, sure. So I probably, I think I will do a little excerpt from an Ashtapadi. So Odissi and Ashtapadi, the Gita Govindam, they are so interlinked. I mean, you cannot think of Odissi without this Gita Govindam, which is an epic poem written by a 12th century poet, Sri Jayadeva. So I thought that's probably the best, it gives you the essence of Odissi. So I'll present before you just a 3-minute, from the beginning of an Ashtapadi. That's okay. Just give me a couple of minutes to set up the music.
So in the meantime, while she's setting up, I just, set some context maybe for what you're about to see.
That would be helpful, yeah.
So like Kripa said, Ashtapadis are poems from the masterpiece of Saint Poet Jayadeva's magnum opus, Gita Govindam. And this particular one that you're going to see is called Sakhi Hai. So where the heroine is talking to her friend, her Sakhi, and telling her that I'm wanting to go meet my beloved, and she describes all the obstacles that she has to go through. So there's a lot of dramatization in there, but she's sharing everything with her confidant, her friend, her Sakhi.
Can you hear the music?
Yes. And this particular kind of heroine or Naika is specifically called Abhisarika, she's escaping in the night away from her family, go meet her beloved against all odds.
So that was just a little excerpt. It's a very long piece and I could go on, but just to give you a flavor.
Unbelievable. How beautiful. How good. So this is something quite, I think, interesting perhaps for people who are not from dance background, but the way you express a certain language, certain emotions in certain ways, how beautifully you visualize the words that was performed in the song. Many, many, many thanks. We will explore a bit more on your journey and have more performances from even Nalambari and yourself. Let us have some feedback perhaps from the audiences, whether they're finding it okay, little, whether the sound is okay.
Yes, the sound seems to be okay. There are a few comments. Rodela Dola to Rina, wow, different flavor. Have you ever tried singing any Bengali song? Just wanted to know out of curiosity.
This is something that we are looking for. Rina, and then, this is the next question to Rina. Anything else? Any other comment?
Mukhtar, just loving it. Thanks a lot for everything. Thanks, Kaisar Bhai. Gaurav Majumdarji, namaskar. Debashish Bhattacharya, good work, Kaisar Bhai. That's all I have got for now.
Many, many thanks. Gauravji watching. Gauravji, one of the finest sitar player and one of the foremost disciple of Ravi Shankarji. He was featured as part of the series. Many thanks, Gauravji, for watching. Many thanks, Devashish Da, another friend of us based in Manchester, and a art promoter, a wonderful art promoter. Many thanks for watching. Let us go to Rina. So Rina, you worked with so many different things, and your interest expands from Japanese to Germany to English, and then also, to a certain extent, the era of Shakespearean time, the music is the era of Shakespearean time. So, which shows a wonderful spectrum of interest. Another thing that I saw, you performed in a Bengali channel. I mean, your interview was broadcast in a Bengali channel and TV while you were in London. Did you have any interest in Bengali music by any chance, or any other Asian music? The Bollywood,
yes,
perhaps?
yes. Yeah, I'm interested in Indian music. So it was really nice to see that dance, because not only dance, but also the music is very interesting and beautiful, and it's so different. Yeah.
We have some collaboration
Yeah.
of Indian music. We have two.
We'd love to.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Another two wonderful singers here, Shmona Boshu and Sanjay Day. Perhaps we can and dancers, of course. So we can do some collaborations with the music you do. Perhaps Japanese, Germany, and English, of course. So let us see what you have next for performance, and then we'll talk afterwards.
Oh, did you say Lena? It's me?
Yeah, to you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Perhaps we can do something from Japanese, and then if you just give us a background about this song.
Yeah.
For the audiences who are not familiar with Japanese.
Yeah, sure, I understand. I'm going to sing a song that I wrote by myself, and I wrote this song in English and Japanese, so it's mixed. So half English, half Japanese. So hopefully you understand my Japanese English. I have some accent. So, yeah, it's a song that I wrote nearly the first time in my life, and it's called Alone in the World, and it's about the deep feeling that I have, and I always wanted to be able to do something for the society and to the people. So yeah, so that's a song about my feeling I used to have, and I still have. So this is sort of the motivation why I keep working.
Right.
Yeah, I keep going. Okay.
But
so,
Trina, the most important thing is,
yeah,
it's not very difficult to differentiate between the English and Japanese.
Really?
Yeah, because the words, those which are not English, that should be Japanese.
Okay. Yeah, for you maybe it's easy. Yeah. Okay, so it's I'm going to play a song. Yeah. 人混みの中で思うのはいつもそこはまるで暗く深い海の夜私は一人で息ができなくて誰か助けてと叫び続けてたもう本当の自分を見失ってどこにも光を見つけられずにいた何もできない私じゃ何も持たない私じゃきっと誰
somebody's help. I almost drew myself and couldn't find any lights in the long tunnel. How could I live my life if I had nothing with me? I would not be able to be with you. There's only one thing I have been longing for. Is that something I could be sure of myself? When I look myself in the mirror, I will go finding the same kindness, courage, and hope that you taught me, and caring of other people. How could I live my life if I had nothing with me? I would not be able to be with you. There's only one thing I have been looking for. Is that something I could be sure of myself?
Lovely.
Thank you
So
very
that
much.
was in scale G, right? You
Yes.
applied G? Yeah. Sa pa sa re sa 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 pa pa ma ga re
Oh,
ga
you can
sa.
already sing. Great.
Wonderful composition. I really liked it.
Thank you so much.
So, Rina, is it possible to tell us a bit more on your learning? So, who did you learn from? Where did you learn from? I mean, and how did the interest in music gets created?
Well, I used to sing in the choir,
You
and
band, aren't you? While you were in Japan,
yeah, it's just
sang
the
part of
school
the
choir, yes.
Okay.
But then I didn't have any music background. I never studied classic or any piano. And when I became university student, I participated in the band. So I was a vocalist in a band, and I enjoyed it. But at the same time, I wanted to be able to perform just by myself, so that I could go anywhere and perform. Yeah, without band. So that's why I started learning piano by myself. So I learned some chords first, and learned quite many songs, and started composing. Then when I composed 3 or 4 songs, I just went outside and started performing at the bars and pubs and this kind of place. So since then I have been playing for a long time.
And when you were in England, I saw that you sang a song composed by a friend, Nick Parkin. Did you?
Ah, yes, yeah.
Is it possible to sing the song that you performed?
Oh, wow. Yes, I can, but I need to get my notes and
yeah. So next, I mean, I'm coming next.
yeah, next, next one, yes.
Yeah, in the next time I'm coming to you. If you just sing this. Nick Parkin is a composer. He's a singer as well, based in London. A friend of us, and it's wonderful to see. I have heard it. I watched it, listened to it on YouTube.
Yes,
So
I met
that's-
him in London. Yeah.
Oh, you met him in London.
Yeah, we were in the same choir.
Oh, you were in Square, right? Okay.
Mhm.
Idul, is it possible to read anything from audiences?
Yes, sure. Jagdeep Mudanji, namaskar to all.
Namaskar, Jagdeep ji. Many thanks. Jagdeep ji is a wonderful musician, and many thanks for joining today.
And then Rodela Dola, wow, amazing dance doesn't need to have any language or
Exactly.
to say
Many thanks,
anything.
Dola.
It just brings peace. Thanks a lot. And she has also asked if she can request a song.
Let's see if Rina
Jahangir
can.
Oman enjoying the show.
Who?
That's all I've got now for now.
No, that's great. That's great. Jasmine, is it possible to read a poem just to complement this singing, and then we'll go to Nilambari.
Sure. It's a poem called I Loved Her Like the Leaves by a Japanese poet called Hitomaro.
Oh.
I loved her like the leaves, the lush green leaves of spring, that waved the branches of the willows, standing on the jutting bank, where we two walked together while she was of this world. My life was built on her, but man cannot flout the laws of the world. To the wide fields where the heart haze shimmers, hidden in the white cloud, white as a white silk scarf, she soared away like the morning bird, hidden from our world like the setting sun. The child she left as token whimpers, begs for food, but always finding nothing that I might give. Like birds that gather rice heads in the break, I pick him up and clasp him in my arms by the pillows where we lay, my wife and I as one. The daylight I pass lonely till the dusk. The black night I lie sighing till the dawn. I grieve, yet know no remedy. I pine, yet have no way to meet her. The one I love, man say, is in the hills of Hegel. So I labor for my way there, smashing rock roots in my path. Thank you.
Many thanks, Jasmine. Let us move to Nilambari. So Nilambari, is it possible to tell us a bit more on Madhuri Art House? Did you perform so far as part of the company?
Yes. So both of us have, and our students actually have performed quite a bit last year. And I say last year because
you teach Odissi in London.
Yes, we do.
And where is it based at? Where is it
So the
based?
classes happen in North London in Golders Green, and that's where we have our regular weekly classes for children and young adults. And we also do workshops on request. And so we're open to one-on-one workshops or a small group and teaching specific items, etc. as well. But the regular classes happen in North London. So yes, coming back to your question on performances, we did perform quite a bit last year. I say last year because
last year you did in Nehru Center, didn't you?
so the Nehru Center one, we were going to do, this was a lecture demonstration.
That was a collaboration we were going to do.
Yeah, that was a collaboration which happened to be exactly at the time that people were discussing the lockdown. So we will do it later in the year. But yes, we have, and our children, our students have also performed quite a bit last year. This year, of course, all of us are in this lockdown, so it's hard to do anything. But we have been performing in several places. So.
Sorry, I missed you. Perhaps we missed. Hello, Lumber. Yes.
Yeah.
So, how? I mean, what kind of responses you are having as part of the company? Your artistic journey is unparalleled. I know you perform so beautifully and such a great experience, such a great journey in the in Odissi. You both have. But as a company, what kind of responses are you having? Because you teach students, and you started teaching students as part of the Madhurya House, and then you started performing as part of your company. So
Right.
apart from Nehru Center, where else did you perform?
So we've had, last year there was this very beautiful, I should say, opportunity to perform at something called Radha Kalyanam, which is done every year. And there's a very renowned singer who comes in from Chennai, and it's a completely different atmosphere. For days
It's
together,
a massive gathering of more than 1,000 people.
Yeah, and he sings Jayadeva's Ashtapadis, and it's very soulful singing. It's more spiritual than anything else. And we were invited to because we do Odissi, Ashtapadis are inseparable. We were invited to perform there, and we were met with a lot of good. How should I say? Feedback and reviews about it. We chose one of the later Ashtapadis, which has a lot of depth. And when you're performing for something like that, an initiative that is more an offering than a performance, the satisfaction you get is something else. So this was more mature audience, people who know in and out of the scriptures, and so it was a lot of fun.
May I add that we were actually, it was, am I right, Neelambari, in saying it was probably the performance that we were most nervous about, because we were performing in front of very informed audiences who really knew the Ashtapadis, so we absolutely had to get it right. I mean, one thing I just want to remark here is that, we perform in many different places, and, in the UK or even the US when I used to do it. I mean, you have such a beautiful costume on, and you go on stage, and the music is beautiful, and people watch you, and they're just very enamored by the costume, and they enjoy it, and you get sort of really positive feedback. But I think one of the things that we really appreciated at this particular event was that people were actually knew what we were trying to convey, and the feedback was a very informed feedback, and that was very special. And in fact, that's again sort of goes back to one of the goals of Madhurya Art House. We are trying to sort of tell people a little bit more so that they can appreciate it at a different level, not just because it's something nice is going on, it's very nice, graceful movements, but with a slightly more, informed appreciation of the art form. So sorry, Neelambari, go on.
No, so that was one of the performances that we enjoyed quite a lot. We also did something more dramatic for the Oriya Association, which was a poet called Shalbeg's rendition that we performed. That has episodes from the Draupadi Vastraharan, and all of those very dramatic episodes. And this was more again, the informed part of the audience was the language, because this was an Oriya poem and we were performing in front of an Oriya audience. So that was another kind of experience we had. But yeah, the children have performed as well, and I think it gives them a lot of exposure. With each performance, they develop their confidence, and they've performed during Durga Puja last year also. And actually, one comment I do want to make is because there are some Bengali names that we heard in the audience as well. Our dance teacher is Bengali, and we use a lot of Rabindra Sangeet to create little pieces for the children, because it offers so much variety, right? There are very deep poems like Maranare, which talks about death, and then there is which is more for us. But then,
is that the song you're talking about?
yes, yes,
Right.
and then there are others that are so many poems about spring and joyful dancing, Momo Chitte, Niti Nitte, so many of those. So we've had fun, doing those ourselves while we were younger, and as we grew, and also passing that on to the children and composing something for them. And if time permits, we can show you a little snippet of one of the songs.
Okay, that's great. Is it possible
So
to
Nilambari, just to ask you, did you meet Paushali Mukherjee?
Yeah, Paushali is known to our dance teacher as well, because I think they're similar in age. And
Right.
Paushali's student, Swapna Kalpa, who's the director of dance at NCPA in Mumbai, comes here often. She's also a very well-known performer in her own right. So we are all, it's a small community. We're all very connected.
We know each other. We are very, very close to each other. Paushali and me. We were in, she was in Rabindra Bharati University. So in that way, yeah.
Is it possible, Kripa, for do another performance from?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think Nilambari spoke about Rabindra Sangeet, so maybe a little a short. Okay, again, I need a few seconds to set up my music.
Yeah.
We can talk
So
about
this one, do you want to explain a little bit, Nilambari? I was going to do.
I think we have a very informed audience here, so we'll perform, and then we'll we'll let them comment on it.
Okay.
আজি কমল মুকুল দল ফুলিল আজি কমল মুকুল দল ফুলিল দুলিল রে দুলিল মানুষ সদসের ফুলকে পলকে পলকে ঢের ফুলিল আজি কমল মুকুল দল ফুলিল আজি
Thank you.
Many,
Thank
many,
you.
many thanks. Many thanks. Somebody, perhaps you were trying to add something after this performance?
No, I think we can hear
Yeah.
from others as to what they.
Yeah, like this was a Tego song composed in Bahar Rag.
Yes.
So wonderful composition. Kripa, that was really, really very much enjoyable. I
Thank
really
you.
like Odissi a lot.
Thank
And
you.
just a question: have you been to Konark Temple,
Yes, both of us have
Khajuraho?
been. Yes.
Both of you have been. Okay. And do you think that it has inspired you a lot for this Odissi? Because the mudras, all of the things in Odissi.
I think more than
Tell a bit.
just looking at the physical
Yes.
features of these
Yes.
beautiful piece of architecture, these temples that we have in India, I think I personally, it's also like a spiritual grounding that I get.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that link is, it's there. It's a temple dance. And when you dance it in a temple, the kind of satisfaction you get is something else. I've danced in front of thousands of people on Chowpatty Beach in Mumbai at this mega event. And while it's fun and, gets your adrenaline going, my performance at Chidambaram in front of an audience of 20 to 30 people, right in front of the Sanctum Sanctorum, that was, it's something else. You get goosebumps. So definitely, I think, of course, they're beautiful. You appreciate them at that level. But, you kind of see, it makes a lot more sense, I think, when you dance at the temple, you kind of then understand, the Ashtapadis. They just make so much more sense. Anyway, that's my personal take. I'm not going to speak for Neelambari.
No, I mean, Konark Temple is if you go to the Konark Temple and you look at the sculptures, you actually see when you're observing Odissi, especially the pure dance form, you see direct postures and positions, and it's almost like, in fact, when we are learning, one of the things that we are told, and that's what we tell our children when they are learning, is that when you're posing in a certain position, you are the sculpture, so it has to be picture perfect. And the Konark Temple, if you think about those times when the artists who were creating these sculptures probably just had like a little chisel and like not even a hammer, and they created something like that. Just that thought and standing in front of those sculptures gives you goosebumps. It's just mesmerizing just looking at all that and what our civilization was in those days.
I should add that it was these temples were probably the Instagram of their times, because there is again a lot of references, and another text is Shilpa Shastra, which is an architectural text, and they again go into so much detail about dance poses and how important it is to have sculptures with dancers in temples to beautify these buildings. So yeah, anyway.
Sumana wanted to add something.
Yeah, I was always fascinated about all the dance forms, starting from Kathak, Bharatnatyam, Mohiniyattam. I have learned Kathak, but couldn't continue because you wanted to give more stress on singing. That's why. But costume wise, I was always attracted to these two forms of dancing, Odissi and Manipuri. Manipuri dance and Odissi dance. So I was expecting both of you will be in a proper traditional costume today, and especially Neelamburi. And do you have an idea that Neelamburi in Bengali means sky blue? So there is a song Neelamburi Shari Pori. So I was expecting you in blue with your traditional costume.
My name
costume.
My name is Nilambari, based on the Raaga Nilambari, because my parents are very fond of Indian classical music, so that's how I was named.
And for Bengali, it's a very one and only popular destination is Puri. So uncounted time we have been to Puri and Konark Temple, and so fascinated about Odissi dance style. So wonderful to see you dance like that. So perfect.
Right.
Thank you.
Let us move on to Reena. Hello, Reena. First of all, we would like to listen the next one, which is composed by Nick Parkin. But did you ever sing any Japanese folk music, Rina? Or
Japanese folk.
Yeah, did you have any interest in Japanese folk? Not now. I'm just asking if you.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, so perhaps if you know any Japanese folk song, perhaps in the when it'll come again to you, if it is possible. And apart from singing, did any other art form attracts you? Because Japan is such a great place for poetry, literature. Especially, I'm a great fan of Haruki Murakami. I'm not sure you read anything by Haruki Murakami, one of the greatest writers of 20th century. And I'm still not sure why he didn't get Nobel Prize yet. Every time he's shortlisted, but for some reasons in the end, I don't see him as the winner. And then Yukio Mishima, perhaps you read Yukio Mishima, who committed suicide, and one of my most favorite writers of 20th century. So did you have any interest in writing poetry or literature?
Well, when I write a song, it's like sort of writing poems and just putting melody. So that's how I compose a song. So I would say writing a song is similar to writing a poem. It's just making melody as well. Yeah.
So let's listen to the composition by Nick Parkin.
Yeah, I have it here. So, sorry, you might not see me anymore, but
who did the music?
I didn't really prepared, so yeah, I will just try.
I see your tears rolling down your face. You got live your life and you struggle every single day. When I see the changes, when I feel no pain, love needs love, love needs love. You work every day and you get very little in pay. I feel your pain flowing right through my veins. When I see the changes, when I feel the pain, love needs love, love needs love. You sometimes dream when you're sitting thinking alone that your life will change and you the wind will blow away your pain. When I see the cherries, when I feel the pain, love, love is love. Love, love is love. Love, love is love. Love, love is love.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely
Thank you
beautiful.
to Nick.
Absolutely beautiful. I'm not sure whether Nick is watching it.
Mm,
I'm sure Nick will be really happy. Shuvana, I'm just asking whether you think any collaboration could be made with Bengali music, with this kind of music that we have heard, because I think
Definitely.
Bengali,
Why not?
hmm.
It is definitely possible.
Rina, let's make a history. Let's do, because you did collaboration with many different kind of music. And next time, now when I'll come back to you, I would like to explore a bit more in German music. And then also, please remember, if you kindly sing a Japanese folk song. Sanjay, what would you think? Anything in Bengali you find quite close that can go with this kind of music that Rina just recited?
Yeah,
Perhaps later.
absolutely. Absolutely.
For
Absolutely.
you,
What
it
was
will
the
be
song?
much
I was just,
easier. For you, it will be
yeah.
much easier, Sanjoy, because you have learned Japanese language already.
Music is universal. The chords and the everything, what I'm getting. Um, I can't remember that song, which is very popular in Bangladesh. Kora nere gechi biram dorjai. Anyone could? Kora da 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 da
Yeah,
da
it's
da
Sanjeev.
da.
এটা হচ্ছে
Yeah,
সঞ্জীব চট্টোপাধ্যায়।
right, right.
পরাণে রেগেছি ভুল দরজায়, ছুঁয়ে কান্নার
Uh,
রং, ছুঁয়ে জ্যোৎস্নার ছায়া। আমি
প্রথম লাইনটা কি?
তোমাকেই বলে দেব
আমি
কত একা
তোমাকে
দিন
বলে দেব রা 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 রা
Yeah.
আমি তোমাকে, so the chords and basic things, it has got
Yeah.
a similarity. Yeah, that's what I was just remembering.
I'm not a very Rabindric person, as you all know, but is there any Rabindra Songit which Rabindranath Tagore has composed taking from the influence from Japanese music? Is there any Rabindra Songit?
I don't
No,
think
I
so.
haven't found any reference. I haven't found any reference.
I don't think so.
Japanese haiku,
No.
he was very much fascinated by Japanese
Yes.
haiku, but
Yes.
not any
Even me, I
particular-
like haiku a lot. The way, it's absolutely brilliant. But no, not at all. Because, but I am quite interested to listen to Japanese folk.
Yeah, we'll come back to Rina,
Yeah.
but let us ask Kripa perhaps. First of all, did you find any other visual interpretation that can be made with Rina's singing? Perhaps later on, because you are also exploring and pushing.
Of course, I mean, straight away, of course, the rhythm is quite catchy, of course. But I'm a person who likes to really think through things. So at the top of my head, I confess, I'm not like a natural dancer. I have to work really hard. So yeah, no, if you caught me off guard, straight away if you ask me, can you think of, I'm sure there are possibilities, and the rhythm was definitely, promising, but yeah, I mean, it's difficult for me to answer things like that.
Exactly. So Kripa, is it possible whenever you talk, if you just kindly go closer to the device?
Closer.
Yeah, closer to the device so that your sound is okay.
Sorry, I set it up so that when you want me to demonstrate, you can see me.
Is it possible for Kripa to ruminate some memories of your learning from Padma Vibhushan, Kelucharanji, Kelucharan Mahapatraji, and then I will ask Nilambari to tell us some memories from Devi Basuji. So you both learned from these two wonderful gurus. So if you start with Kelucharanji, and please also plan something, a bit of extract of something that you learned from Kelucharanji.
Oh, okay. So I trained in India, but I moved out of India to study in 2000. Yeah, 2000. So all these memories are from a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, Nilambari is part of them as well. Sort of we used to attend these workshops in Mumbai at NCPA, which was one end of the city. We lived in the suburbs. It was quite a journey to make. So yeah, Nilambari, please feel free to sort of chip in case I've don't remember them correctly. But so I remember, to be honest, I mean, when I first went for the first Guruji's first workshop, I was an absolute beginner. I had not really learned much at all. I just started learning from Devi, and I mean, I was still doing technique and torso and all. And she said, "No, go. You have to go. Guruji's coming. He comes only in the summer. You have to go." And so I went, and I was honestly overwhelmed. I mean, this is like a legend, and I'm standing there with two left feet, looking like a fool. I have to, go. And Didi sent me, but then Didi has said, we are still a bit old-fashioned that way. If Didi says something, you have to do it. We have to do it. So she said, go. So we went there, and then it was he was so sweet and so patient and such a perfectionist. But I think it was just me. I was so sort of overwhelmed that that this is a legend in front of me, and I'm learning from him. It was almost, I couldn't believe it. So I actually learned a very basic item. I'm happy to sort of demonstrate later. I learned a very basic item in Odissi, Batu. And because I learned Batu from Guruji, so that covers like a range of movements in Odissi, possibly everything Nilambari. And so if you learn, that's like the ultimate in terms of technique. So I was very fortunate that he was doing Batu with the beginners at that workshop. So I learned Batu from him, and I may forget any item. I will never, ever in my life forget Batu, because he is really sort of drummed it into me. And we used to spend, the whole day doing one movement. If he was not happy, we wouldn't proceed. So I remember Nilambari, I don't know if you remember, we did the beginning, we had just started on day 2, the whole day from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. All we did was Kadataka, because he was not happy with how it was going. So one person made a mistake, the whole group had to do the Kadataka the whole day. So yeah, but then, at that point it was pretty intense. But the more sort of I learned from him, then the more I appreciated. And now when I look back, I mean, I just think that those are just golden days, and it was such a great opportunity. And I'm so glad Devi insisted that I go for the workshop. I mean, he was a perfectionist, and I think Devi's taken that from him. She's very demanding, and she, as a teacher, she expects the very best from us. And like I said, I'm not a natural, some of my colleagues are extremely talented in class, and I would stand next to them and they would pick it up like that, and I had to really slog. But yeah, I think she believed in us as well, they believe. So she would really push us. And I think that's something she's taken from her teaching method approaches. She's taken from Guruji. So Nilamri, you want to add to that?
Did you just before we move on to the next question, I also would request if Kripa could perform something. But is it possible to? I mean, did you do any collaboration with poetry? Because the expression you did, for some reasons, I was thinking it can be a great expressive or visual interpretation of some of the great pieces of poetry. Dance, I mean, perhaps music can engage its audiences more than poetry recitation. But did you try with any poetry? I mean, rendering any visual interpretation of poetry through Odissi?
So I mean, I think like we said, the Ashtapadis are poems. So that's the backbone of Odissi in itself. So poetry and dance are inseparable. If you look at some of the doyens and even other dance forms like Bharatanatyam, or they all get inspired by poetry, and it has no boundaries. So even Rabindra Sangeet, it's all poems, and it has
And
been
what about any contemporary poets from other languages, perhaps? Pablo Neruda, for an example, Rebo Bodla. Did you try with, or did you think it is doable?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be set to music. So, as a dancer, you have to constantly read, you have to constantly read different pieces of literature, and whatever speaks to you, a piece of writing, a poem that speaks to you, then will automatically inspire you to, compose something too. And of course, music has to be an integral part of that put and set it to rhythm and other things. But yes, but you have to read that enough number of times for it to speak to you, for it to be internalized, and then for you to get inspired to work and set it to music with a musician. So in theory, yes, but
I mean, we talk about
work.
it when we come across something interesting and we do discuss it. But I think there are some very
Exactly,
practical
yeah.
challenges as artists, funding. So if you have to take a piece of work, you have to set it to music. I mean, all this, it's, when we run on shoestring budget. So it's, but yeah, in principle, yeah, we would absolutely love to explore. I mean, as artists, that's what we want to do.
Yeah. Poetry and dance are inseparable. So no question.
Right. So what do you think, Sanjay? Poetry and Odissi?
Yeah, it's a wonderful amalgamation with these two art, because poetry is like imagination, and the Odyssey is also the mudras and the styles of Odyssey. What I have observed and noticed, it's all about imagination in a wonderful way. So it's very, very, very poetic, and it goes with each other. That's what I feel.
Ashtabadi. Is that Ashtabadi available in YouTube that you did in Nehru Centers somewhere? Perhaps we could, I mean, our audiences can watch it. The last one you did in Nehru Center, did you say you did Ashtabadi?
The Ashtapadi that we did duet on was for Radha Kalyanam, and yes, it is on YouTube, right?
Yeah, perhaps we can.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay, great. Let us have a bit of performance, perhaps, from Kripa, and then we'll go to Reena. So what have you, and also some of the audiences just, someone texted me, is it possible to talk a bit little about the distinction between, I mean, differences of Odissi from other classical dances. So that is something that audiences want to know. Perhaps we can continue on this after a performance, if that's okay, Kripa.
Maybe coming to this, I mean, it would probably be interesting. We do talk a little bit, Neelambari, how about talking a little bit about the concept of a sanchari? And then I can pick up, again, do another minute or so from the item that I was presenting earlier, Ashtapadi, Sakhi Hai, where, the protagonist, she's requesting her friend, say, please, can you bring my lover to me? I want to go meet him at night in the forest. So maybe if you want to do the talking, and I will get the music set up again.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. So just to answer the question of, the unique characteristics of Odissi or what differentiate it from other dance forms. So one very peculiar and unique to Odissi is, and very technical, is the torso movement. Right. So
shall I demonstrate if that might be helpful before I dance?
Yeah. So the torso movement is something that is unique to Odissi. Yeah.
So
which does not.
It's this part of the body that moves.
So if you see, you're going from left to right only with the torso. The bottom, the lower half. I'm sorry, the lower half is not really moving, and this, as easy as it seems, is quite difficult, especially for young children, because you have to understand what part is moving before they can actually move it. So this is one, and then there are two unique stances in Odissi. One is the square-shaped chauka pose, which Kripa can demonstrate and show. And well, I'm not able to see her video. 1 second. Yeah. And then the other one is the three bend position, or the Tribhangi.
If I could come closer to, because you won't be, it won't be shown unless I just understand. Yeah, if you just come to closer to the device.
Closer?
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's, yeah.
So this is the three bend position where you can see the neck,
Tribhanga.
the torso, yes, Tribhanga, the torso, and then the legs. So it's basically three parts where there is a bend. So hence Tribhanga. Or Tribhangi.
Yeah. And is it just the other way around to Kathak? Kathak is, we can't see the torso movement that much, right?
Also, the torso movement is very unique to Odissi. You don't see it in any other form. There's body movement, of course, but the torso movement is very unique to Odissi, and it's very fluid. It's very lyrical, very fluid, and so it seems like sometimes it's slow, but it's not. It gives a lot of scope for elaboration in body movement. So what Kripa will show now is, like she said, Batu, which is essentially all the different forms of, or all the different sculptures that you see in Konark. You actually see those in this dance form. That it's almost like Guruji wanted, the sculptures at Konark to come alive, and he's composed it with that vision. So this is a very basic item, very difficult, but this forms like the foundation of Odissi movement.
And it's the item that Neelambari and me learned from Guruji. So
yeah, we learned from Guruji. So it's very special.
I think in Konark temple, all the sculptures are, doing a pose, of Odissi dance, isn't it?
Yes.
So
that's where it came from.
Any person would be a poet, after going to the Konark temple. So I think a non-poetic person like me will become a poet.
Maybe Kripa, you can show a little excerpt.
Just an excerpt of Batu.
Batu, yeah, just to give a flavor of the movement and the sculpturous poses. So as you might have noticed, you could see all the instruments. So this is the veena, this is the flute, right? Then the percussion, and then the cymbals, the manjira.
Great. How great is this? I'm sure audiences finding no words after this beautiful, beautiful performance. Anyone would like to add anything before I go to Mitu? Many,
So
many.
this dance form is very graceful dance form.
Exactly.
So much of grace in it. So that's the beauty of it.
And then, I mean, the temple and then the background that Kripa has covered, that shows how stupendously it is connected to humans' devotion, the exuberance of human devotion, exuberance of humans' prayer.
And the way you have described, absolutely, it's great. Really, we have enjoyed a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Is it possible to let us know a bit of feedback from audiences, and after this, we would like to listen to the poetry that can complement perhaps this beautiful dance.
Is it okay if I read the poem first and then go to audience feedback?
Okay, yeah, great. Yeah,
As
sure.
you were talking
Sure.
about Pablo Neruda, you mentioned Pablo Neruda, and Kripa was dancing. I was picturing Kathak temple in front of my eyes. So that reminds me of a beautiful poem of Pablo Neruda called Your Feet. I'm going to read that. When I cannot look at your face, I look at your feet of arched bone, your hard little feet. I know that they support you, and that your sweet weight rises upon them. Your waist and your breasts, the double purple of your nipples, the sockets of your eyes that have just flown away, your wide fruit mouth, your red tresses, my little tower. But I love your feet only because they walked upon the earth, and upon the wind, and upon the waters, until they found me. Thank you.
Beautiful.
And then going to audience feedback, Shona Kuntia has written, being from Orissa and a long association with the legends of Odissi, I have a natural inclination towards this dance form.
Many thanks. Sharna Kuntiaji is a wonderful violin player. So, and then it looks like that she is quite familiar and knowledgeable about this beautiful art form as well. Many thanks, Sharnaji, for watching.
Then Dr. Sunil Roy has written, collaboration is an excellent idea. I would love that. Wishing you all the best. Chandra,
Please help us and
Dr.
support us.
Sunil Roy.
We like to push the boundaries. So say, for instance, contemporarizing the art form. Art form has a very subtle link with ancient, sometimes some of the art form has a subtle link with Vedic age. Some of the music has a connection with Vedic age, ancient ages. And then we are also giving or rendering a modern interpretation, contemporarizing this ancient art form through this beautiful collaboration. And the artists who are invited here today are a great interpreter of these ancient art forms in a modern way. So they are doing quite meaningful collaboration with other art forms, which is very significant journey for an artist and taking this art form to the rest of the world. So many thanks and salute to these artists, that includes Rina as well. We are going back to Rina, but have you got any more feedback to read?
Shona Kuntia has also written, my father is a Pakvaj player who has accompanied Srimati Sangjukta Panigrahi ji for almost 20 years.
Wow, many thanks, Shanaji. Perhaps the Kripa and Nilambariji managed to find a link with the artist that Shanaji's father.
Yeah, Sangjukta Panigrahi is a wonderful and very renowned dancer. I have.
Oh,
Nilambariji, do you want to say a few words about?
I mean, I think anything you say is too little about her. We lost her very early. I remember one of her, the performance I saw first. I think I was 5 or 6 years old when I saw her in a performance that she'd choreographed, and it was a group setting, and I was so mesmerized. As a 5-year-old, your attention span is not that great. But my mother tells me that I sat through the whole 1.5 hours, and after that, I said I want to go and meet her backstage. And I still have that little piece of paper with her, autograph, because at that time I didn't know I would be learning Odissi, least of all from Guruji himself a little bit. So that was very special. I mean, she was special to Guruji, and everybody very fondly calls her Sanju Nani to this day.
Thank you. Nitul, have you got any more feedback? So before we move on to Rina?
Yeah, one more from Girika Mathur. Lovely to hear you both.
Gaurika, many thanks. Gaurika is a dancer as well. Wonderful dancer. Many thanks for watching. Let us go back to Rina. Hello, Rina. What is next? What can you hear now from you? Perhaps Japanese folk song, and then if you kindly perform folk song, and also anything from German heritage.
Yes, I probably do 1 or 2 songs more. Then
Yeah. So if you just do together,
yeah, and I can do English. Country Road, Take Me Home.
Yep.
Yeah, and but I have German song.
Yep.
I wrote by myself, so I'm not sure if it's German style or anything, but I wrote it by myself, so not sure.
Have you planned anything from Japanese folk song, though? Or you?
Oh, I cannot do it right now because not sure what's the definition for folk in Japan. So no, I need time to prepare for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So I do what I can do today because
Okay.
yeah, I was preparing for that. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is older, older than the trees, younger than the mountain, blowing like a breeze. Country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, mighty mama, take me home, country road. All my memories gather under my nuts and lady, stranded to blue water. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty tested moonshine, tried to fill my eyes. Country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, mighty mama, take me home, country road. I hear her voice in the morning hour, she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. And drive me down the road I feel it that I should have been home yesterday. Country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, mighty mama, take me home, country road, take me home, country road, take me home, country road.
Wow. Wow. So what about Germany, German singing? Before
Yeah.
you go, I mean,
I can sing only one German song right now that I wrote.
while you are getting
And
while you are getting ready, let us
yeah,
let us have a poetry from Jasmine and then the German song. If you just get
yeah,
yourself ready.
it's ready. Yeah, if you understand German, you will find my German song really simple. Because my German level is not so high. So I just wrote a song while I was studying German. I'm still learning German. So this is a thank you song in German. In German, you say Danke dir, thank you. So it's a Danke dir, thank you song. Yeah. Vielleicht verstehe ich dich nicht genug. Vielleicht
deine Leidenschaft. Ich freue mich, dass ich dich kennengelernt habe. Vielleicht verstehen wir uns nicht genug. Vielleicht sage ich dir nicht genug. Vielleicht mache ich dich müde mit meinem Deutsch. Aber ich möchte dir etwas sagen. Danke dir für deine Geduld. Danke dir für deine Freundlichkeit. Danke dir für deine Leidenschaft. Ich freue mich, dass ich dich kennengelernt habe.
Reading some verses from Dorothy Perker. I know I have been happiest. I know I have been happiest at your side, but what is done and all's to be. And small the good to linger dolefully. Gaily it lived and glatantly it died. I will not make you songs of hearts denied, and you, being man, would have no tears of me. And should I offer you fidelity, you would be, I think, a little terrified. Yet this, the need of woman, this her curse, to range her little gifts and give, because the thorn of giving's sweet to bear, to you never begged me vows or verse. My gift shall be my absence while I live, but after that, my dear, I cannot swear. Thank you.
Many, many thanks. We are moving to almost to the end. We will have the last performance from Rina soon. Is it possible, well, before we go to Rina, Mithul, is it possible to read some audience's feedback and then we'll go to Rina?
Yeah, Shona Kuntia has written the most beautiful dance form and beautiful music. Sonia Sultana, best wishes for all. Rodela Dola, thanks for explaining the moves. Really amazing performance and portrait. That's all.
Sonia is a friend of ours. Sonia is the part of Radharaman Folk Festival. She's a wonderful Kathak dancer and then contemporary dancer as well. So many, many thanks, Sonia, for watching. Shumana would like to add anything before we move on to Rina. Please prepare something for the last one, last performance, but Shumana would like to add anything. And I personally would be really happy if you do, because you are such a wonderful Indian semi-classical singer as well. And if you find some common thread to merge this music from two different traditions, that would be great. This Adda, this
My mind has started working already. My mind has started working already. I'm not a very big fan of, I shouldn't say fan of, I mean, I don't listen, I don't get time to listen to Western music, but I always look for melody in any song. Like my favorite, and then if I want to listen an English song, I always go back to Simon and Garfunkel, and then Tracy Chapman, Wham, George Michael. Those are my favorite singers. And in nowadays, Michael Bublé and Ed Sheeran, those are my favorite. Apart from that, it doesn't touch my heart, to be very honest with you. But you have got a lot of melody in your voice, Reno. That's what amazed me. So carry on with your singing, a lot of melody. Really enjoyed your performance. Really enjoyed your performance. And definitely would like to do some collaboration in the near future.
Many thanks. Many, many thanks. Jasmine would like to add your concluding note.
Yeah, just amazed with the incredible amount of talent and being able to sing equally beautifully in different languages and how your voice. I think growing up here, being Bangladeshi, but I've grown up here, so I'm this kind of fusion of East and West. I love Western music just as our music from the East, and I think this session was just amazing. Thank you.
Many thanks. Mithul, would like to add your concluding note?
Yeah, sure. I'd like to quote from Rumi that in the house of lovers, the music never stops. The walls are made of songs and the floor dances. And this evening promised to be a great one, but it exceeded all my expectations. And you went above and beyond. And we all sang, danced, and recited in harmony. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Many thanks, Mithul. Rina, you are such a talented singer, not just a talented singer, your interest in all different music is just amazing. It's just unending. So you learned Germany, you learned English just for yourself to carry on singing in different languages, and Japanese is your base language. And then you are excelling with the music that you do, connecting so many audiences from so many cultures of the globe. Many thanks. We are so delighted to feature a very highly talented singer like you. I'm sure you will make a history for these collaborations, and you will be. I mean, the way you are collaborating, the way you are performing, we'd like to see you at the center of the world stage very soon. So, Rina, is it possible for you to sing something in the end so that we will finish with your music?
Sure. Thank you very much for all the great comments, and it all motivates me to keep writing music, and thank you very much. Not sure what I should sing. Maybe Japanese. Well, I'm not sure this is folk, but I have been singing this song for a long time. It's Japanese, really famous song. Like 20, 30 years ago, it was really famous. So it's from Yutaka Ozaki. He's like a legend in Japan. So I cover his song. Yeah.
I love you 今だけは悲しい歌聞きたくないよ I love you 逃れたどり着いたこの部屋何もかも許された恋じゃないから二人はまるで捨て猫みたいこの部屋は落ち葉に埋もれた空き箱みたいだからお前は子猫のような鳴き声できしむベッドの上で優しさ持ちよりきつく体抱きしめ合えばそれからまた二人は目を閉じるよ悲しい歌に愛がしらけてしまわぬように してるって聞くお前はこの愛の城を生きてさえ抜けないけどきしむベッドの上優しさもちよりいつくから抱きしめ合えばそれからまた二人は目を閉じるよ悲しい歌に愛がしらけてしまわぬようにそれからまた二人は目を閉じるよ悲しい歌に愛がしらけてしまわぬように
Thank you very much.
You're on mute.
Many, many, many thanks. Many thanks, Rina, for what a great ending for this beautiful recital at the end. Tomorrow we will feature again one of the finest violinists here in UK, Kamal Biji. Last time he just sang, but his main dexterity in violin. So there are a number of audiences who were saying if we could have him again as part of it, have him for violin recital. So tomorrow he will do the violin recital tomorrow at 5:30. Day after tomorrow we are featuring some wonderful dancers. One is Jessica Correa, who is joining Kathak dancer, a great Kathak dancer, a disciple of Biju, Pandit Biju Maharaji, and joining from America, Colombia. And Onima Kumar, a Kuchipuri dancer, teacher of Kuchipuri of Bharati Vidya Bhavan, London, a senior and critically acclaimed dancer Onima Kumar. And some other musicians will join on Friday. On Saturday, we will have another great exponent of Hindustani classical music from Banaras Gharana, Shoma Ghoshji, on Saturday at 4 p.m. perhaps. And then Sunday, an exponent of Kirana Gharana, Pandit Ornabji, will be the part of this series. So many thanks who have already watched. I'm sure this music, this dance form gave you a friendly association so far in last two hours. And then those who will watch later on, many thanks to them as well. Like we always say, music and especially art form is proving its benefit for the society more than any time, more than more than anything else now, especially at this time, at this critical time. So please stay tuned. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. Many thanks to Rina, many thanks to Mitul, Shomana, Jasmine, and many thanks again to the audiences who are watching. See you soon again. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.